letter via email to careers@sfacs.us. For more information, visit sfacs.us.
Clark Roofing Company has over 30 years of quality roofing experience, providing exceptional customer service, honesty, and professionalism. Clark Roofing is a second-generation master roofer, installing top-quality roofing systems for commercial and residential properties across the tri-state area. For fast, dependable service, call 215-365-ROOF. That's 215-365-7663.
Tuesday, May 25th marks the one-year anniversary of the killing of George Floyd, which sparked worldwide protests against systemic oppression and police brutality. WURD Radio will commemorate this milestone with a day of healing. This day-long reflection will feature interviews and panel discussions throughout the day with some of Philadelphia's most prolific artists, activists, community organizers, entrepreneurs, healers, and historians, featuring a conversation with 3 generations of artist, activist, warrior women, Sonia Sanchez, Ursula Rucker, and Kai Davis. Moderated by WURD President and CEO Sarah Lomax Reese. Beginning at 1 p.m. Stay tuned throughout the day for a day of healing, exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com, the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster along with Mark Kelly Tyler. We're here Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to bring you the latest in news happenings around Philadelphia and, of course, our opinion, which we have plenty of those. And the ongoing debate that we have inside the virtual studio right now is whether golf is a sport. But as we all know, according to the definition that I read from the Oxford Dictionary, it is indeed a sport, although some people don't think that it is.
The Oxford Dictionary is written by a golfer.
It might have been.
Of course he was going to be like, and of course he was going to be like, of course golf is a sport.
Yeah.
Who dare says, oh, look, I play spades, all right? So by your definition in Oxford, I'm an athlete.
No physical exertion. Other than slapping the table.
I have to
slap the table.
Man, have you ever seen me cut somebody in spades? Are you gonna tell me that's not physical?
Spades is a game, not a sport. It's a game.
See, that's my point about golf, and all the rest of these.
Golf requires physical exertion and skill. I'm sorry, it really
does.
There
is no exertion, Royster.
Yes,
but
it
all right.
is. Okay. You've never swung a golf club. You don't know what it's like.
I put them in the basement.
That's not swinging a club.
Hey, so this week, so a few things are happening. One is, welcome back everybody to Facebook Live. Thanks for being good sports about it.
Stone is really upset. I just want you to know that he's really
upset. Is this what we really talking about? Yes, this is what we really talking about. It's Monday. I'm trying to get y'all going. We have the hardest job on WURD. You do know that. The lead off on Monday mornings. So we have to kind of get you all out. First of all, you're coming out of a beautiful weekend.
I know,
I'm surprised
really
most of you are here, because I mean, I would imagine that you were like trying to get all that 90-degree weather from yesterday as much as you could down at the shore. But again, so this particular week ahead, there's a lot around police reform, obviously. And so as I said, George Floyd's, the anniversary of his passing is tomorrow, not passing, his murder, is tomorrow. And the family of George Floyd will be hosted by President Biden at the White House, which is, I think, a very important symbolic act in and of itself. I mean, some people say, well, that's nothing. But again, I mean, think about the last 4 years. You know who would have been there? Derek Chauvin. Mm-hmm. We're tired of people persecuting you. We want to invite you and your family to the White House. That's what would have happened last year.
That's right. And he would have received a presidential pardon for at least any federal charges that will come against him.
Right. And some people say, well, come on, that's going too far. Hey, the Navy SEAL,
yep,
who, was court-martialed for his acts over in the Middle East. President, brought him on in and embraced full embrace. And so that's the former president, I should say. So current President Joe Biden is going to bring the family. And I think, again, it is a very important gesture and symbol to say to us that, you know, these painful stories, that we're not by ourselves in this and that there are, you know, real allies in this moment. Now, he also wanted for tomorrow to be on his desk legislation that he could sign into a law about policing reform. But advocates are saying in the Congress are saying we want it too, but we want it right. And so we're not going to get caught up in the symbolism of trying to have it on the day of the anniversary. We would rather have it and have it right. Are you optimistic at all that something meaningful, by the way, legislation will come out of all of this at the hands of this Congress?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it can get through the Senate. I don't think it can get through the Senate.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have a problem. Some of the Democrats that are in conservative states and that also enjoy cozy relationships with the police departments are not going to be able to get that through. So the House will pass it fine. You know, they can have a couple of Democratic defectors. They'll be all right. And a couple of the Republicans that actually serve some of the major cities will probably sign on. But in terms of the Senate, Joe Manchin's not going to back that at all. As a matter of fact, he's shown to have a cozy relationship with the police in West Virginia. So I don't think, and there are a couple other Democrats. I forgot the senator's name from Arizona, the new one, who tends
Mark
to be
Kelly?
a big No, the woman, the one who replaced John McCain. No, that's Mark Kelly replaced John McCain. See, there's another one. Is she in Nevada? Maybe she's in Nevada. There's one that out there that tends to be much more conservative Democrat as well. So I don't think he can get through the Senate without serious modification. Something will pass, but I don't know if anything that will pass that will resemble what actually the original bill looks like or the original intent of the bill is.
Yeah. So I'm like you. I don't, you know, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, while it's good to have these federal laws changed to address it, there's so much of what happens in the personal relationships of Black people in particular in law enforcement is a local matter, right? Yeah. And that if you don't have local officials, for example, who are willing to go after cops who go rogue, you know, and if you don't deal with it on that level, then a lot of these things are going to continue no matter what the federal law says. That's why it's important to have a Larry Krasner, for example, as the DA. We could talk about that now on the other side of the election because Larry Krasner has repeatedly charged cops.
That's right.
Something
Which is
that
why the FOP is going after him so hard.
That's exactly right. So something that his predecessors would not do. And so now the police will tell you it's demoralizing. Everybody's against us. And, you know, that's why people are retired. Okay, give me a break.
Well, what about how Black folk feel? I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can choose an occupation. You can leave the police department and go get another job. I can't get another skin color. You know, what is it demoralizing to be stopped and frisked hundreds of thousands of times in a city every single year? And for years, the police department does absolutely nothing about it, doesn't seem to care about it, even though they're under federal restrictions that they have to report this information every year. Didn't care about it. What happens when they just stop people over and over again, just do ridiculous things? I don't give a doggone about a person that actually has the ability to make a choice in terms of what they want to do. Put your damn gun down and go get another job. But I don't have a choice. My daughters don't have a choice. My friends don't have a choice about waking up every morning and being Black and being demoralized because every time you walk outside the door of your house, you don't know what you're going to meet that day. So anytime a cop starts whining about we're so demoralized, go get a freaking life, get a freaking new job, and get realistic about what the world is like because you have a choice in terms of what you're contending with.
So tell us how you really feel.
Okay.
How do you really feel about this?
Yeah.
I mean, exactly, right? I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you feel demoralized. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, the tone deafness of law enforcement in this moment. And I get it. Seems like the world is against you. But look, as clergy, we've gone through this before. I mean, you didn't have to be a Catholic priest to bear the brunt of, all of the child sexual abuse cases and the ways in which all of a sudden wearing a collar did not, people look at you like, oh, there's, a preacher. All of a sudden it look like, like you're one of them too. Yep. And so it's like, so I get it. I do. And in a very real sense of having to prove to people that you are okay in a profession that it used to just be a given that you were okay. And so, but it's, but look, I mean, if you're there for the job, then understand this is also part of the territory. And once you establish trust with your community, you don't have to worry about that. People understand. They're like, oh, that's Officer so-and-so. That's not what he's about. Right. And but you can't discount these experiences that you know all too well, because guess what? You're in the locker room with these racists. And you hear what they say about us. And they say it and then look at you and like, well, you know what I mean. And you all just kind of laugh it off with that uneasy laugh. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I should really say something. No, that's all right. I want them to have my back when I call. So I mean, yeah, I'm with you, man. Save the demoralizing piece. Now,
cry me a river.
Things are so again, I talked about the courts, right? So courts, the DAs, all of this plays a part and factors into changing the behavior of police. Because when police start paying for these crimes, that's when behavior will change. So I was encouraged by the story you sent me over the weekend about the story of this came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
No, the cop with the dog.
Oh yeah.
Who the dog mauling story in, man, what is up with Minnesota? I mean, why are these, what you got? I thought this was like the place where the Ingalls lived. Little House on the Prairie, man. What? Why is Minnesota?
Did you ever watch Little House on the Prairie? I mean,
everybody watched it, man.
I mean, there's Little House on the Minnesota. No, man, it's too far north, bro.
Minnesota. What? Why is everybody in Minnesota always in the news these days? These Minnesota cops are like mauling people. So this officer, former officer, was convicted of a federal civil rights violation in 2019, and I'm reading the story directly from ABC5 up there, for kicking and severely injuring an innocent man, can I insert black, mistaken for an armed suspect, has been sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Yep.
Wow. And guess who he got sentenced by? U.S. District Judge Wilhelmina Wright. Now, I saw that name and I said, I bet she's black. Sure enough, Judge Wilhelmina Wright is black.
Wow.
And sent that man to jail for 6 years. And the city council
approved. Who sits on the bench matters.
Well, exactly. And how do you get to a federal bench, Dwayne Royster? Who appoints you to a federal bench?
You have to be nominated by the President of the United States and then confirmed by the Senate to be able to get to the federal bench.
Isn't that something? Elections. So whether you are an appointed judge or an elected judge, the electoral process plays a role in your becoming a part of the judicial system. So we got to keep our eyes on all of this. So I keep, come back to the same point that we always make about the importance of voting, the importance of being involved civically, not just in the presidential election, but exercise. They talk about exercise your right to vote. We talked about athletes earlier, athletics, we were making light of it. But, truly exercising your rights. That means practicing voting, staying involved. Every 6 months, you should be voting for something.
That's right. Absolutely. Engage in the process.
Yeah, that's how you're going to change this stuff. I mean,
that's how you become a productive citizen.
Right.
That's how you change the damn world. Go vote every election.
Voting don't matter.
No, voting does matter. It matters when you got to go before a judge, because most of the judges, although at the federal level they're appointed, at the state and local level they're elected.
Yeah.
Don't complain about the judges if you didn't go vote.
Right. Nikki O. Tim says, no, everyone did not, in caps, watch Little House. Okay. I mean, I know it's like a serious crowd. It's like, you know what I mean? I didn't mean like literally everybody, but you know what I mean? Yeah. It was obviously a big hit. Asa Khalid
It's all
says,
reruns now.
Asa Khalid says, sorry, Rev, but Little House on the Prairie became a plantation and a police state. Hey, I told you I got to play that clip from Little House where the star was talking to Todd Bridges, who was a guest.
Yes.
So they knew about their racism in Minnesota back then because Todd Bridges put it on him. He said, would you rather live to be 100-year-old black man or die at 50 and be a white man? And the star just looked at him. He walked out that room. He said, oh, crap. He said, give me the 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd rather cut my life short by 50 years than to be a 100-year-old black man, to live 100 and be black.
Yep. Absolutely.
So I guess it makes sense that all this stuff is happening now in Minnesota.
Well, I mean, you know, it's Minnesota, first of all, so they've kind of flown under the radar for such a long time as sort of a bit of an irrelevant space. And now they become, well, I mean, the population's increased, so they have actually a lot of sway in the electoral process, but because of their policing. And Ilhan Omar, their congressional leader, and Keith Ellison before her, both became major players in the political scene in the United States government and in Congress. So I think, you know, I think it's just bringing a lot of attention to itself right now. And it's also where Prince was living and born. So, you know, it had a lot of relevance because of that as well.
Right. So before we go to break, Tawanda says, no, she never watched Little House. So let me just say, part of this is also, thank you.
That's the age thing.
Look, I'm about to say, first of all,
I saw that. I was like, she's too young.
Right. You grew up, Tawanda, probably with multiple TVs in your house. Okay. And you probably had a TV that you could watch on your own or somewhere else and other channels. When I grew up, there were 3 channels, ABC, NBC, and CBS, and then your local channel. And there was one real TV in the house. One. And so you watched what the adults watched. So, of course, they're going to watch Little House on the Prairie, along with everything else. Good Times, The Jeffersons, Sanford and Son, Aunt Maude. You watched what they watched, or you didn't watch TV. Period. Full stop.
Wait a minute. Do you remember when the TV used to go off and they would play the national anthem?
Yes.
Fly the flag.
It's like
it was like
midnight.
Like 9 o'clock at night.
Right. You and Asa talking about, no, you didn't watch it because you came up with Nintendo. And like a lot of TVs and cable. I remember when cable first started, man, I was like we were like teenagers, and it was like, what is this? It's called HBO. First movie I ever saw on HBO was Car Wash. And they played it all summer long. Some of y'all remember that. We got to take a break. Robert says, gosh, Rev makes it sound like he grew up in a log cabin. I did. Technologically speaking, my house was a log cabin in Oakland with one big TV that weighed about 600 pounds. It was a cabinet.
TVs, so big console TVs.
It had a record player. It had a bar. It had a bar. It had a bar on one side, a record player on one side. You could serve food in the middle and a TV in it. Don't act like I'm the only one.
My grandmother had one of those. I'm
just glad I was too young to have to help carry it in and out. They probably just hacked it to pieces before they took it out the house.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be back on the other side of memory lane. Back to memory lane when we come back. You got to talk about this story about the teacher that you sent me who got in trouble for flying a BLM flag. This is the Power Hour. We'll be right back.
Does your pre-K to 12 student need reliable internet for digital learning? The city's PHL Connected program can help by offering free internet to eligible families. To find out if you qualify, dial 211. For language services, press 8. Learn more at phila.gov/PHL Connected.
This Word Wellness vignette is brought to you by Penn Medicine. Word Radio presents the following wellness tip to support our listeners with mindfulness and motivation.
This is Halana, your resident expert health and wellness coach, with tips to help you stay well. When you go grocery shopping, keep choosing a healthy diet in mind. What you choose to eat is a big part of your overall health and wellness. Heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer can be linked to what you eat. We have all been to the store and let snacks and sweets steer us in the wrong direction with our health and our budget. Choosing a healthy diet when we shop simply means 3 things. Replace coffee or soda with a glass of water. Substitute fish, chicken, or red meat for a meatless Monday meal at least once a week. Choose healthy snacks like fresh fruits and vegetables during the day. If you want to eat more, gain less, and feel full longer, include lots of high-fiber fresh foods in your diet every single day. Choosing a healthy diet is something we can all do. Go ahead and try it for your next trip to the grocery store. And stay well with WURD. Happy, healthy living.
Stay well with WURD. Connect with us at wordradio.com. This WURD Wellness vignette was brought to you by Penn Medicine. Are you looking for a job? WURD has got you covered. We just launched a brand new job portal featuring jobs from some of Philadelphia's leading companies and art organizations. Visit the portal right now to see jobs from WURD Radio, the Kimmel Center, Her Foods, Always Best Care, and more. Apply today. Visit our livelihood website at wordworks.com. That's WURDworks.com and click jobs.
Family Therapy Vignette Moments with Dr. Lucille Ijoy.
Taking your mom on a date. That's right, taking your mom on a date. Would you take your mom on a date during this pandemic time? Where would you take her? Well, here are some suggestions. Don't forget to wear your masks. Take her to the movies. Take her to buy some sexy sunglasses, to get a manicure and a pedicure. Take her to drive in the park and eat some ice cream. Take a little walk through the park. And maybe you'll talk, and maybe you won't. What would you like your mom to do as you take her on a date? Well, you might have to say to her, let's have some fun, Mom. Take your mom out on a date. Or maybe stay at home for your surprise date. And so I ask you again, where would you take your mom on a date?
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Mattress Firms. Volume picks up on the Schuylkill Expressway, eastbound Gladwin to Belmont. Again, Montgomery through Spring Garden. Westbound side, Broad to Passyunk, a little slow through that construction zone. Westbound Vine Expressway, delays Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. Southbound Boulevard, Route 1, Broad to Fox, little volume there, getting a bit heavy. Southbound 95, Cottman to Bridge, also getting heavy through that ongoing construction. Northbound moves fine. 55 north had a jam now from Deptford into 42. It's Mattress Firm's best Memorial Day sale ever. For a limited time, save up to $500 on top-rated mattress brands like Sealy and Sleepy's. Plus, get a free adjustable base with your $6.99 mattress purchase. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
Cloudy, breezy, and cool this morning. Temperatures in the 60s, climbing only into the low 70s this afternoon. Mostly cloudy this afternoon. We should see some breaks of late-day sunshine. Cool start to Tuesday, 57 the low, 78 the high with mostly cloudy skies. Then we'll get some sunshine on Wednesday to boost our temperatures into the 90s. A high of 92 Wednesday afternoon with a chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster along with Mark Kelly Tyler jumping in this morning, and we're all over the map in terms of the issues that we're dealing with, from golf to George Floyd to multiple issues. But one of the things that we talked about was an article that I saw the other day that I thought was incredibly powerful, coming out of Florida. And this is a story about a teacher, Amy Donofrio. I'm probably saying that wrong, Donofrio, who was an English teacher at the Robert E. Lee High School in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, the interesting thing about...
What's the name of the high school?
The Robert E. Lee High School.
And we're about to be surprised by what? Like, good God.
All right, so she is a teacher at the Robert E. Lee High School. She's a young white woman, right, and has been teaching there for several years. And it's actually interesting. The school colors are blue and gray, the colors of the Confederacy, and the sports name of the team there is called the Generals. Now, the interesting thing about the school now is that it's 70% black. So every day the kids have to go to school at the name of a school that was for a Confederate general that really did not have any appreciation for their skin color or who their people were. A few years ago, she was concerned about her young folk, and she created a program at the school called the EVAC movement that was designed primarily to reframe the images of black youth in Jacksonville, Florida, from people calling them at risk to referring to them at hope. And as a result of this program that she did, the young folk got a chance to meet President Obama in 2016. They've done conferences and did testimony before the U.S. Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. And this has been an award-winning program that she has run at the Robert E. Lee High School in Jacksonville, Florida. So one of the young people in her movement, Reginald Boston, was killed by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. And so after this occurred, and in her classroom, if you can see the pictures of her classroom, she hung a Black Lives Matter banner. When she first hung the banner, the school administration wanted her to take the banner down. And she said, show me where in policy it does not let me put this up. And so they left it down for a while. Then there was the issue about changing the name of the school, in which she helped to organize students to go and testify. There were 6 different hearings about changing the name of the school, and there were 5 other schools they were going to change the names of in Jacksonville as well. She organized students to go testify. It got really ugly in the testimony. The kids were really upset. She came back one day after they had had a hearing at her school, and her flag was taken down. Now, the school district was saying that it was violated district policy by political speech, to which she said, this is not a matter of political speech. It is a matter of reality for my students, that Black Lives Matter. She said, this is not a political issue. So then she was taken out, she was suspended from the classroom, and she was reassigned to non-teaching duties in what they refer to as teacher jail. She was not allowed to participate with the students at the prom or even be able to go to their graduation that's coming up, unless, this is resolved before that happens. So she's filed a case, and she's represented by the Southern Poverty Law Center against the school district for violating her First Amendment rights. And she said that the school districts consistently come after the EVAC program, demoting it from a class to a club to an informal group, then turning down private funding and blocking her from using non-teaching days to take students on field trip. And then, she says she feels like this whole thing is just over this particular flag, but she said it's really just showing that they don't value the black students that are in their school. The white administration doesn't appreciate them, doesn't respect them, doesn't want to affirm them, doesn't want to support them in doing what they're doing. So she's she's suing the state, and while they continue to punish her, and she has to wait for an administrative hearing for what is going on inside her situation within the school right now. I think that their goal, this is my opinion, I think they're trying to get her to quit, so they're just forcing her to do this. There's a petition out there, 16,000 people have signed to get her job back. So, that's what an ally looks like, right? That's more than an ally. That's a comrade right there.
Right.
She's fighting and, for her students, fighting for their ability to be, her students to be heard, to set their own narrative, which I think is very powerful. I think that's a very powerful piece, that they get to define themselves for themselves. And the school district, and this is Florida, right? This is Trump. This is Trump state, DeSantis state that is doing all this damage. This is heartbreaking, actually.
Wow. This is 2021. I'm still stuck at Robert E. Lee, right? But it's just, these ghosts of the past that people don't think that, somehow names, matter would, you think about some of the more, objectionable people of the past. Would anybody still keep their names on buildings, for example? And yet here we have, not only the name, but it seems even the spirit behind the name still alive and at work within the institution. So can you post do you have a link to the chat so people can sign the petition that we can put in Facebook and
I
on
don't
YouTube?
have the petition in front of me. I got to go find it. Yeah.
Oh,
I will
let's see
find
if,
it and get it. Yeah.
I bet we got like, thousands of production assistants. Maybe somebody out there who's listening can just post that in the chat.
Here it is. I got
platform.
it.
Okay,
I'll put it in.
Great.
I found it. Yeah.
And apparently, I didn't know that did you know we're on Twitch?
Yeah, I did not know that. I saw somebody post it. I was like, we're on Twitch. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even have a Twitch account.
When we shut down Facebook, they were like, don't forget Twitch. I'm like, forget? How can I forget what I didn't know? So if we're on Twitch, thanks for listening as well. But we want to make sure that you get this information just the same because, people like this should be supported who are out there risking their own jobs and everything else. And shout out to the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the continued work that they do in these efforts of defending people's right to stand up and to be allies in this moment. So look, that's a great story to really end on. So again, as we look forward, tomorrow we'll certainly be talking more about the anniversary of the George Floyd murder and the impact that it has had, not just in Minnesota, but also throughout the country and the ways in which the world is really reevaluating law enforcement in particular as a result of that tragic event on last year, this time, and all the things related to that as we go forward in this particular week.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, I thought I posted this. Maybe let's make sure I did post it to the right place. I did. Okay, yeah, so the petition is posted, so you can take a look at it there. And please sign the petition and send it on. All right, everybody. Well, that's pretty much what we got for today. Welcome to Monday. We hope you have a great and wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in to Wake Up. I'm getting ready to say Wake Up with Word. I'm so confused from last week to this week. So thank you for tuning into the Power Hour. Thank you, Dr. Tyler, for everything you do. Thank you, Corisa, for holding down the boards. Thank you, everybody that's listened to us on the air, through the app, on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitch. Thank you to all those people that are listening to us through Alexa. Alexa, play the Power Hour. All right, we thank you for being here with us each and every week. Stay tuned now for Wake Up with Word with Solomon Jones. And family, do us a favor. Go out, change the damn world, because if you don't, nobody else will. Peace.